I am Dr. G. Sijon, Assistant Professor, Department of Anatomy, Jyoti Vidyapeeth, Women's University, Jaipur. Today we are discussing about the anatomy of pulmonary trunk. So we can see here clearly pulmonary trunk. I seeing very large and very thick, but a short tube. So it is the one of the great vessels of the heart. Its length is 5 cm. It has a origin from the upper part of the right ventricle at the level of left third costal cartilage. We have seen here this part is the pulmonary trunk. It has a length of 5 cm and it has a origin because this is the right ventricle and this is the upper portion of the right ventricle. So it has a origin from this upper portion of the right ventricle behind the left third costal cartilage. There is relations. So there are many structures surrounding the pulmonary trunk. So how it relates to the pulmonary trunk? So these are anteriorly the external end of the left second intercostal space and left lung and pleura. You can see here anteriorly the external end of the left second intercostal space and left lung and pleura. And slightly tilted to left side this portion. So this is anteriorly relate to the left lung and left pleura and the second left intercostal space. Posteriorly, we have seen here that is the ascending aorta and there is left coronary artery. This we are not able to see that here, and there is a transverse sinus of pericardium. We have already talked about that transverse sinus, that is the a space between the venous tube and arterial tube. So we have not seen here. This is something here. So in posterior side, the ascending aorta, transverse sinus, and the left coronary artery that is related to the posteriorly to the pulmonary trunk. These are all ascending aorta, left coronary artery, and transverse sinus of the pericardium. To the right, ascending aorta, origin of right coronary artery, right auricle. So in right side, the some portion of ascending aorta is also related to right side. This is the right atrium and this portion is right auricle. And the right coronary artery, we are not able to see here. So these portions, the right auricle and ascending aorta and right coronary artery also related to the from the right side to the pulmonary trunk. And the left side, left coronary artery, left auricle. So this is the left side, this is the left auricle of the right left atrium and the left coronary artery. So all these structures related to the pulmonary from the every direction. Now we are discussing about the right branches of the pulmonary trunk. There are two branches, right pulmonary artery and the left pulmonary artery. We have seen here this pulmonary trunk. This is emerging from the upper portion of the right ventricle and it runs upwards. When it reaches beneath the arch of aorta, this is the arch of aorta, and it reaches beneath the arch of aorta, then it divides into two parts. It gives rise to two arteries. There is the pulmonary arteries for the each side, right pulmonary artery, and this is the left pulmonary artery. So normally, everybody know that artery always carry the oxygenated blood, but these pulmonary arteries carry the deoxygenated blood towards the lung. This is the applied anatomy. Here is the most important clinical condition is sudden occlusion of pulmonary trunk by the embolus. So if there is a condition of any surgery and there is a condition of any accident, and after the accident or surgery, there is a longer period of immobilization because patient have to stand on a bed for a longer time. So there is a tendency to formation of thrombus in deep veins of the calf and the large pelvic veins. because staying of the blood for a long time in its place. So there is accumulations of fibrin and clotting factor, and that leads to the formation of clot, and this is carried to, away from the blood to the different parts, especially from the pulmonary artery to the lungs. So we can see here from the pulmonary artery it is carried to the lungs, and these thrombus completely blocked these vessels. So we can say pulmonary embolism. So if there is a complete occurrence of blood, so the blood not carried out, not flowing in that vessel, so patient can be died. Due to pulmonary embolism, there are some symptoms. These are chest pain and shortness of breath. So these symptoms, chest pain and shortness of breath, is very common symptom of the many disease of lung and heart. So there is very greater difficulty of differentiate all these conditions from the pulmonary embolism. So sometimes this pulmonary embolism case is often missed. So diagnostic strategies need to be individualized to each patient and the situations. So there is a remedy of these conditions, that is the pulmonary artery catheterization. Sometimes we use this pulmonary artery catheterization to monitor cardiopulmonary function. So how to do catheterization? First, we insert a catheter into the interjugular vein or the subclavian vein. Through this, we will reach right atrium, then to right ventricle, and to then pulmonary trunk and pulmonary artery. So we can see here, we inserted here interjugular vein, and it goes to right atrium, then right ventricle, and then pulmonary trunk to the pulmonary artery. So we have to do this in this manner. The purpose is very diagnostic. It is used to detect heart failure and the sepsis conditions. Sometimes we use it to monitor any therapy that is going on, and sometimes we use to detect the efficiency of drug that is given to a particular patient, and many times we use to access many health problems, as if we want to detect any congenital heart abnormality, then we use it again. We use our pulmonary artery catheterization to detect the pressure in the right side of the heart, and especially in the arteries of the lung, in the hypertension of the lung, that is called pulmonary hypertension. Sometimes we use it for the taking blood samples at various sites within the heart to understand the oxygen level of blood. Sometime in heart failure condition, we also use this test to evaluate to heart pressures and to flow of the blood in a weak heart. So there are many conditions. We can use the pulmonary artery catheterization to detect all these conditions. So we have discussed all about the pulmonary artery, the formations, the branches, and the relations, and the clinical conditions, and the remedy of the pulmonary embolism also. So if you have any query, any doubts, please talk to me. Please comments, please. Please comment below. Thank you. Thank you so much.